In the heart of Dubai, where the desert winds met shimmering towers of glass, a whisper began moving through royal corridors like a secret carried by shadows. It concerned Sheikh Hamdan, beloved prince, poet of the people, and heartbeat of the nation. But this time, the whispers weren't about him. They were about someone else. Someone connected to him, but hidden from him. Someone whose existence threatened to shake the palace's carefully protected harmony. Behind the golden gates of the Zabil Palace, an air of unease rustled through the curtains. The advisor sensed the tension before anyone spoke it aloud. A young woman, radiant, brilliant, yet deliberately concealed, had entered the orbit of those closest to Sheikh Hamdan. And for reasons buried in politics, loyalty, and fear, her identity was kept from him. She was known only as Laina, the daughter of a quiet diplomatic family, a woman with eyes that mirrored both fire and vulnerability. Laina's presence had been meant to remain invisible. Her purpose at the palace was innocent. She had arrived months earlier to serve as a cultural liaison, guiding delicate international projects that touched poetry, conservation, and humanitarian outreach. She had never intended to cross paths with the royal inner circle. Yet fate, in its unpredictable artistry, had woven her into a secret far bigger than herself. It was Sheikh Hamdan's cousin, Prince Rami, who first met her. He saw in Laina a mind fierce with conviction and a heart soft enough to care in a world hardened by duty. Their friendship grew quickly, then quietly, into a complicated affection. But Rami knew his cousin, knew the warmth in his soul, knew the way he valued sincerity above status, and feared that introducing Laina to Hamdan would ignite something neither man could control. So he hid her. Half to protect her, half to protect himself from losing her to the prince whose charm no heart resisted. But secrets, like dunes in the wind, never stay still. Soon the palace staff noticed Rami's subtle detours, the late-night meetings in the garden, the letters exchanged with care. Rumors swirled that the prince had a secret girlfriend, someone untouched by royal expectations, and yet, strangely, Sheikh Hamdan remained in the dark. His intuition, sharp as a falcon's gaze, sensed something shifting in the people around him, though no one dared reveal what they saw. Laina, trapped between emotion and duty, felt the weight of the deception pressing against her chest. She admired Sheikh Hamdan deeply from afar, his poetry, his humility, his devotion to the people, but every time she crossed paths with him in the palace halls, guilt shadowed her expression. Hamdan would greet her with effortless kindness, unaware that his very presence made her secret all the more unbearable. The two exchanged brief conversations that lingered like unspoken chords in the air. One evening, during a private cultural exhibition prepared for visiting dignitaries, fate intervened. Sheikh Hamdan approached Laina as she translated a rare manuscript. He asked her a question not about politics, but about the emotion behind the verses she was reading. Their discussion blossomed like a rare desert bloom, rich and unexpected. It lasted only minutes, yet something passed between them, an unmistakable spark, subtle but undeniable. Prince Rami watched from a distance, his chest tightening as he witnessed the silent connection. It was then that he realized the depth of his mistake. In trying to guard his heart, he had imprisoned hers. And in shielding Hamdan from the truth, he had created the very storm he feared. Laina's eyes, glowing with unspoken longing, told the story he could no longer contain. Over the next days, Hamdan found his thoughts circling back to Laina. Her quiet brilliance, her honesty, the way she spoke as if every word mattered. He noticed now what he had overlooked before, the glimpses of sorrow in her expression, the tension in Prince Rami's voice whenever she was near. Something was being hidden from him, something personal, something human. And Hamdan, who valued truth above all, sensed the secret tightening like a knot. Laina's dilemma deepened each passing moment. She grew distant, speaking less, hiding more, afraid of betraying Rami, afraid of misleading Hamdan, afraid of breaking her own heart. The palace, once a place of opportunity, had become a labyrinth of silent suffering. In the days following the desert confession, the palace shifted in a subtle but undeniable way. The tension that once sat in the hallways like an uninvited guest slowly loosened its grip. Laina carried herself with a softer grace now, no longer burdened by the weight of hiding. Yet even as relief touched her steps, a new uncertainty began to stir. The truth had been released, yes, but the future it left behind was unfamiliar terrain, filled with delicate emotions and unspoken choices. She found herself re-evaluating everything she thought she knew about loyalty, affection, and the unpredictable shape of destiny. Prince Rami struggled quietly in the aftermath. He had built walls around his heart, then built secrets around those walls, and now everything lay exposed beneath the desert sky of that night. For the first time, he questioned whether he loved Laina as deeply as he feared losing her, or whether the secrecy itself had bound him to an illusion of closeness. He watched her from a respectful distance, noticing how her spirit seemed to align more naturally with truth than with any hidden attachment. And in that realization, a different kind of ache bloomed, an ache not of heartbreak, but of understanding. Meanwhile, Sheikh Hamdan found his thoughts returning to Laina with an unexpected warmth. Not with possessiveness or longing, but with admiration. He replayed their brief conversations, the poetic honesty in her voice, the sincerity that set her apart from the polished world of the palace. He respected her transparency during the desert confession and felt a quiet connection to the courage she displayed. Though he made no move to pursue those feelings, something in him recognized her presence as more than passing coincidence. The universe, he believed, rarely moved pieces without purpose. Laina soon noticed a gentle shift in Hamdan's demeanor. He treated her with the same kindness as before, yet now an added depth lived behind his words, an almost protective understanding, as though he acknowledged her without demanding anything in return. This subtle change steadied her, giving her space to explore her own heart with clarity unclouded by guilt. She began to see the palace not as a maze of secrets but as a place where she could finally breathe, finally grow, finally